This is the brand new Yeti Capra 27 Pro Race model. Beautiful bike. Here it is out of the box, ready to roll. Fox suspension. This is a size large and comes in at a weight of 31 pounds, and that's out of the box, not tubeless. YT does list the bike at 29.1 pounds on their website, and I'm assuming that is a size small. And built for going downhill very fast. Aside from the shock mounts, there are 8 total rotating points, 4 on each side, 4 pivot points on each side. Carbon cranks, carbon wheels, carbon frame of course, SRAM code ultimate brakes, E13 cassette, tires, rims. We don't have mountains in Central Texas, so I took the Capra out to City Park Motocross Trails, which is pretty technical, up and down, rock climbs, rock descents, to try it out. What I also did in this video is do side-by-side comparison to Yeti SB5 Plus, and you can see Yeti's on the left, Capra's on the right, and this is just to compare how the Capra rode compared to the Yeti, which I normally ride out there. Here we are back to the Capra. Now this is the very first ride on this bike, so I've not dialed in the suspension, so I'm still working out the kinks.
Very front heavy. Zippy is the Yeti. Heavier fork. It's more weight in the front.
City Park is filled with these rocky climb sections. They're not very long, but they're pretty rocky, and you have to maneuver around and get your traction and up the rocks here. And I got a little stuck there with a YT, but that's just a botched climb. It wasn't the bike. You can see the Yeti, of course, went through it. This is one of my favorite climbing sections because it's actually very technical, twisty, filled with obstacles. So I actually like it for that reason, because it is challenging. The Yeti on the left, YT on the right. First time with it on the YT, so I ran into some issues, but it actually went better the second time.
So, kind of warmed speed here.
You can even see in the video how much further of a camera angle the front tire is sticking out than the Yeti. And that's the additional wheelbase dimension of the Capra, of course.
Definitely a lot front heavy than what I'm used to. Woo! I mean, it's built for going downhill. So, stuff requires a little more effort. It's not a cross-country bike. It's faux show. In the tank. Going down. Good. Pretty good.
This is a sort of a sloping downhill turning section. Now again, these are two completely different rides. Side-by-side comparison, you can see they're somewhat similar, but of course the Yeti pretty much faster every clip, but that's because this is the first ride on the Capra.
Hell yeah. Over everything.
One thing I noticed was, compared to the Yeti, this actually felt like a 29er. Can't imagine this bike with 29-inch wheels. You could pretty much demolish anything in its path as it is with 27, I think, with this bike. So even going up these little rocky sections, it's no problem. Again, it's just a little bit more effort with this bike. It is heavier, it is longer, so. Going downhill is super fun. You don't really have to pick your lines too carefully like you do with the Yeti. You could just pretty much go straight down everything.
You can even feel that. But it's ridiculous.
Another side by side here. Again, these are completely two different days of riding. First ride for the Capra, and it's obviously pretty similar.
Oh, it is so fun. Oh, I did not go too. Get some speed.
I think the design of the rear suspension is pretty good. Just here, you know, out of the saddle and doing some
Tires are really
fast
good.
flat
Yeah,
riding.
of course, yeah, they are good. Like the Minions.
Not too much loss of power. Pretty good. I also found it pretty maneuverable. Again, probably the 27-inch tires help with maneuverability, so I liked it a lot.
Fork is very tight. I gotta fix that. Why I didn't go off that big one? Front one. Here, maybe. Break it in a little bit. It's pretty stiff. Not much air in it.
One thing I noticed is the bike does manual pretty well. It's kind of fun. So in summary, it's a downhill bike. I think it climbs pretty well.
Yeah, it wasn't too
I think it's
graceful.
going to just
My
shovel down
Not the
mountains. Can't wait to go out to some mountains and do get out on the trails. I think it's a really good bike. Plenty of nice features on it. They did a really good package, I think, as far as the little ins and outs of the bike and the frame and all that. Just some advice to YT. You have this Fox transfer seat post lever, which is a terrible design. It'll wear out, it'll fray that cable in a few months, and it's held on by a ferrule. Fox makes great suspension products, and this is their weak link. Some items to note is there is no lockout on the front shock. Maybe a big deal to you, maybe not. Here's a look at the E13 tires, which I thought were excellent. They're 2.35 width, and this is shown in comparison to Minion 2.8s. You can see they're pretty similar design and about a 1/4 inch difference. Thanks for watching. I'll have some videos of some alpine downhill soon.